Amola Michael Sukomi by name, a researcher and public affairs analyst.
All right. Thank you for joining once again, sir.
You're welcome.
Today on the program, we are discussing the perceived impact of terrorism on Nigerian youth and society. And I would like us to start from this end, sir. The terrorist strategies draw the attention of the local populace, the government, and the world to their cause. Such strategies include acts of violence and destruction of lives and properties, adoptions, and sexual violence. So I would like to ask, as a nation, how did we get here? That's the first question, sir. How do we get here as a nation?
Yeah, thank you so much. The issue of terrorism is actually not limited to Nigeria alone. It's more like a continental and global affair. But very unfortunately, it's as a result of the weak state of governance across these countries. For example, I was following the report of what has been happening in Sudan, in Eritrea, and some other African countries recently. It's actually a show of the deficit on the part of government in terms of meeting the social, economic demands of people. And coming back home to Nigeria, we can see the way things are happening in the northeast and recently in the southeastern part of the country, which boils down to the systemic failure that we have been talking about over time. I am one of those persons that believe that education will play a very significant role in reducing the activity of terrorism or banditry or whatever we may call it in any society, because education the purpose of education is to renew the mind of individuals to contribute to the development of any society. And when an individual is not adequately educated, it therefore means that the person will constitute nuisance to such society, and that is what we are facing at the moment in our national life. So what I'm saying in essence is this. It boils down to the successive failure of government over time in meeting the demands of young people, in meeting the basic needs of young people, most especially education and in managing the unemployment rate, because there's always a saying that an idle hand is the devil's workshop. But I beg to say, an idle hand becomes an instrument in the hand of the evil ones, which is bettered. One can say it's bettered by the failure of government. So that is what has led us to where we are, and we can only hope that we can come out of this quagmire anytime soon.
All right, sir. We're talking about the perceived impact of terrorism on Nigerian youth and society. I would like to ask this question because it was on the media yesterday, everywhere. Nnamdi Kanu celebrates and thanks Biafra preachers over the multiple attacks on Imo prison. That was yesterday. I would like you to, what do you make out of this? For a man to come out and, be appreciating people that actually carry out that kind of evil acts. What do you make out of this, sir?
Well, I think it is very important that I state that the properties that are being damaged, they literally did not belong to any state governor. The properties, the prisons, the police headquarters that were burnt down, they was not built by the money of Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State. So it is just about our commonwealth. We are only destroying what we have suffered to build over time. And in terms of celebrating what was done or the attack that was launched on the prison and the police headquarters, there is nothing to celebrate in that. It portends, or rather, it tells much about the level of divisiveness in the country. We cannot continue to celebrate things that are affecting us adversely and negatively. So what the implication of this on us as Nigerians, as young Nigerians, because when we look at it, it is young people that are being recruited into these terrorist organizations, for example, Boko Haram. And following the report of the IGP this afternoon, he was alleged to have said that any IPOB member found should be fired or something like that. So the question we need to ask ourselves is this. if government should use the full weight of law on people, who are those that will be at the receiving end? It's just a set of young people that have been recruited into some of these networks, whether ISWAP, Islamic something of West African states, whether it is Boko Haram, whether it is bandits, whether it is ESN, Eastern Security Network. Well,
Okay.
they may have a way of pushing their cause. Well, everybody want with the present state of things in the country, everybody would have something to say, but it is there's wisdom when we engage government constructively in meeting, in demanding for certain needs. So
Mm.
the effect of this on us globally is that Nigeria is gradually becoming a very failed state, a very unstable society, and in the diplomatic community, in the international community, it paints us in a bad light, because an average Nigerian will be seen as someone who can actually cause trouble, who can pose threat to any human society. So it is
All right.
not just a local implication alone; it
All
equally
right.
have a global implication on us as a people. So we just want to, I want to, as a person, use this
Mm.
medium to encourage whoever may be behind all of these attacks that if we burn down this nation, where do we run to? Not all of us can afford money to jet out
Exactly.
of this country, as some as some have their private jets stationed across
Mm.
our airport. So we need to engage constructively in making our demands.
All right. So I want to believe that some of these problem, challenges, crises, can be traced to ethnic miniatures armies, ethnic and religious conflicts, corruption, and what have you. Now, I want to ask you. I want us to focus more on ethnic and religious conflict. Don't you think this is actually tearing us apart?
Well, truth be told, I think everything still returns back to the table of government, in the
Okay.
sense that Nigeria is not the only heterogeneous society in the world. And
Mm.
an heterogeneous state, to me, is a strength. When you have people of diverse religious and cultural background, it's a strength if it is being properly managed. But if otherwise, then it causes a problem, just as we are facing in Nigeria now. We can see
Mm.
people demanding for the secession of Oduduwa Republic from Nigeria. We can see
Yes.
people demanding for the secession of Biafra from
Mm.
Nigeria. This is happening because of systemic failure, so to say, the
Mm.
perceived marginalization that people are experiencing in the country. So it's just better to say that no, the government, most especially this administration, has not been very careful enough in managing our religious and cultural diversity to our whole advantage.
All right, sir. Because of our time, I would like to, because when we're talking about the terrorists, you understand, being in Boko Haram, Biafra, whatever, some of those people, they are youth, as in the instrument that they make use of, they are youth. So the question I want to ask, sir, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, that's the governor of Kaduna State, said, I don't think any bandits deserve to live. And people have been driven opinion on this, like there should be amnesty and what have you. What do you think should be done? If someone comes out and say, I want to repent, I don't want to follow those evil ways, I want to be a new person, do you think we should consider this, sir?
Well, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Governor Nasir El-Rufai, being a state actor, I know that he must have thought it well to have
Okay.
come up with that position. But I,
Mm.
as an individual, because one thing I value so much is the sanctity of human life. Life must not be taken at will, and this is what people, the bandits, the insurgents, the Boko Haram, this is what they are doing to Nigerians. They are taking lives at will, which is not meant to be. So if a governor is coming out to say that this is my position on the issue of banditry in his state, I don't believe that his opinion should be condemned, or rather, it depends on how people see it. Because just imagine millions of Nigerians, thousands of Nigeria that already lost their life, loved ones losing, people losing their loved ones, being kidnapped here and there, almost on daily basis, as a result of some of these illicit activities of Boko Haram, of bandits. So if a governor has said that, I think he should not be accused as being wrong. These are people that get the security reports. And when we look at this economically, do you know that to actually manage terrorism in a nation is not a very cheap activity? It's very expensive. So when we are having high level of unemployment, money meant for job creation still being used to actually fight terrorism, it literally means that unemployment level in the country will be going up, and I think, if I may be correct, the unemployment rate in Nigeria now is far over 25%, which tells us that we are not doing well economically. So the army of young people who are meant to have been engaged are not being engaged, who are doing something to contribute to the GDP of the nation. They are not getting that done. So if they are not getting a legitimate activity to do, the illegitimate one that is available that can actually fetch them money will actually be the next alternative. And I think that is what the government, whether it's national or subnational, should look into. How do we manage some of these crises? Then I think, should there be anybody coming out to say, oh, because I've done this, used to be a member of insurgents, is coming out to repent? Good and fine, because I don't believe that amnesty should not be given to that person. I mean pardon, because we have some of our political actors who have indirectly killed Nigerians as a result of the mismanagement of our commonwealth. I hope my position is well understood. So both the political actors mismanaging our commonwealth and those that are killing people at will, they are just like sisters, they are brothers, they are achieving common goal. Let me say they are achieving goals in different ways. So we just need to wake up from our slumber as a nation and just get things right for once.
All right. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Sir, before you go, this last question, sir, please, sir. Before now, we used to be very concerned about what we are going to eat, you understand, what we are going to wear. But I think, the narrative have changed. Now we are concerned about, is our life even secure? Yeah, I know, just some weeks ago, the governor of Benue State was attacked in his own farm. You understand? The question I want to ask, sir, can we have a system whereby the lives and property of the citizens will be secured again in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think, if I may be correct now, because I'm not a constitutional lawyer, so I may not be able to get the constitution correctly, but it's clearly spelled out in our constitution. The primary role of any government is to ensure the security of lives and, of course, properties of the citizens. So, which in recent years, government has been failed in these aspects. So we just need to come to one table, tell ourselves the truth about what is happening in the nation, and then let us chart a new course. Then back to your question, if I may be correct, I think I lost the point.
Yes, sir.
What was the question again?
We actually have a system whereby government.
Yes. No, the system. Everything still boils down to the activity of government. Let us organize assembly. Religious leaders, political leaders, traditional leaders. These are people that operate at the grassroots. They have ideas of how things are being managed in their respective communities. Let them come out. Let them come up with statements, with blueprints. Government should be humble enough to engage some of these actors to help us profile or collectively profile solutions to the problem of this terrorism, insurgency in the country. If only this can be done at short, at medium, and at long term, I want to believe that there will be solution to the problem we are facing in the country at this material time. But if governments want to continue to act independent of other actors in the country, I doubt if there will be solution to what we are facing in the nation anytime soon. And in terms of when we look at the security formations in the country, the ratio is far insignificant compared to the population or the entire population of the country. I think the entire military formation in the country should be a little or less than 200,000. I may not get the exact figure, compared to over 200 million of us. When we look at the Nigerian police force, the number is very small. So we need more hands. I think that was a position that Asiwaju Tinubu was trying to make the other day. We need more hands within the security formation. And the way the security formation handle intelligence also is give the terrorist group to constitute or to pose further threats to the nation. So we just all need to wake up and get things right once and for all.
Right. Thanks so very much for your time on the program today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm Ola Ogunmaike by name, a researcher and public affairs.
Thank you so very much for your time, sir. God bless you.
Welcome.
All right, sir.